I believe recently you became a B Corp. For those that don't quite understand, could you give us a little bit of information about what that involves and why you did it?
So B Corp is probably the highest ethical standards that private companies can have outside of being a public company. So it's governance and controls. It's about everything about your environmental policies, how you produce your products, how you look at things like packaging. It's all your social policies as well. It's all about your HR, how you work within your community, how you can be a force for good. And it's a very lengthy process. I mean, it's about 2,000 different questions, and you're scored on each question. And if you don't provide evidence, regardless of whether you do that or not, they won't score you on it. So a lot of companies that go through the B Corp process don't get it because they just can't provide the data that they're required. But for those that have got it, it's basically the highest standard of governance for private companies outside the public markets.
Indeed. So I believe that the business has really taken off over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. Can you give us an overview of which countries you're in at the moment and how the business is growing?
Yeah, so we started to internationalize quite early. I mean, we set up the business in 2016. Our first international client was in 2017 in Belgium, and shortly after that, with quite a major sort of supermarket called BioPlanet. Shortly after that, we started to supply to the UAE, so we started to supply to Dubai, and we're in supermarkets like Lulu, Carrefour. And then we've sort of just been sort of incrementally sort of expanding since then. We're in Monoprix in France. We're in Rossmann's and DM, which are major retailers, and Douglas in Italy. And now we're practically in every single major sort of European country. Spain, Portugal, Italy, France, Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. We're really Greece, Macedonia.
Yeah.
It's really been something that the Europeans have really got behind. And then last year we took the bigger steps of launching into both USA and selling back into China, and that's going quite well as well.
So how do the Chinese react to a sort of what is essentially a British brand, albeit the product comes from there originally?
So I mean, the Cheeky Panda, I mean, like in China, people are used to pandas a lot more than what they are here. And people are a bit more familiar with bamboo products. So we've had to tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit more cheeky, make it a little bit more fun, make it a little bit more stand out. But we're also in Carrefour there. We're in a number of mother and baby channels, and it's doing really well. So yeah, it's quite exciting to take.
Is there any advantage of being a British brand in China? Is that something that people aspire to, or?
I mean, yeah, it's for the aspiring middle class. They kind of want to have Western brands. So the fact that we're selling in places like Waitrose and Boots, and I think we're getting a listing in Selfridges soon as well. Is that they kind of look for products that are in high end sort of established British retail. And then they want to have that in their home as a sort of as a show point.
Indeed. Okay. Well, it all seems to be a great story so far. So where's the company going now? Where do you see it in maybe 2 or 3 years' time?
Well, we when we started the company, we literally started it in the bedroom of our house, and we had a lot of people that said it won't work, and Kimberly Clark or SAT will just copy you. Or it blocks your toilet, or all sorts of funny things that people said about. So rather than trying to innovate themselves, we kind of they just basically said, well, here's why it's not going to work. But now we've got 32 people. We've got 3 offices. We sell. We must be selling close to 50 million rolls a year now. That's a lot. That's a lot of toilet roll, right? All the customers that that use the brand absolutely love it, and we supply to some very, very large corporate estates. We supply places like Google and Facebook and the Treasury and many other large, government and public listed companies, both in the UK and in Europe, and probably into the USA. So on this trajectory, like, where we've taken a company from basically concept to where we are now.
Yes.
Probably the next couple of years for us is we'll get to the public market. Our plan is to IPO the business. We're all very excited to do that. It's a lot of hard work. You've got to do a lot of governance, but B-corp helps with that because it kind of puts a lot of those policies in place.
Yeah.
And if we can get to market in the next 2 to 3 years, then I think we can really make a difference to changing the category.
Right, fantastic. And are you two in for the long haul? Are you taking it public?
Yeah. I mean, we're signed up. We're signed up to the post IPO journey. It's a lot of fun. You get to wear panda hats. You get to work with great people. You get to work with great products, and you get to do something good. And it's not every day in your life you can actually make a positive impact in so many different meaningful ways. Whether you're giving people employment, you're creating a more sustainable economy.
Sure.
Or you're making people smile, and if you can do those things while you're working, then
sounds like a dream.
You're in a lucky place.
Indeed, Chris, that's been really interesting. Thank you so much indeed for your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to add at this point?
I'd just like to say that I really love your rebranding.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really think that
you like the Jerry the Goose.
Yeah, the green leaf. It kind of really works, and I think that thanks for being forward thinking in this sort of mid-market janitorial space. I think you're really sort of trying to push the sustainability agenda, and I think that's where the market's heading. And I think you're ahead of the curve. So keep with it.
I agree with you. We're trying to go out as well. Maybe not at your scale, but we're certainly trying. Okay, Chris, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.